I'm going to go down the line. I am here talking with the team from In Transit. We have Alex Sarrigeorgiou, the writer, producer, and Lucy. We have Jaclyn Bethany, director and producer. François Arnaud, who played Tom. And CC Kellogg, one of the producers on the film. Thank you all for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to jump right in. Alex, I'm going to start with you. What was the inspiration behind this film?
Yeah, so I, a few years ago, was working as an art model as my day job, and it's a wonderful job that I really, really loved doing, but it's also a very sort of surreal thing where you're spending a lot of often one-on-one time with artists, and you're sitting in their home, and they're sitting quietly together or getting to talk, but they're sort of staring at you the whole time in this way that's like both about you and not about you. And I was like, okay, I want to write something about this. And then the story really grew out of the place I was at in my life, where I was torn between the urge to keep making art and the sort of ambitious side of me, and the side of me that wants to be seen through my work, and the side of me that wants to have a content, happy life. And I was like, are these two things at odds with each other?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, right? I don't know. I was like, and then sort of these two characters of Lucy and Ilse grew from that, and I was just really curious about what it means to live a life that feels like it mattered, and how that looks different to different people. Yeah.
And Jaclyn, how did you come aboard the project, and how did you bring your cast together?
Yeah, so I had worked with a producer, Cece, on several projects before this, and we've known each other a long time. And she sent me the script. I think because at first she was like, I read this great script, like as a friend. She wanted to know what I thought about it, and it was during COVID, so I was always like reading and like looking for artistic inspiration. And then I know she was working with Alex to develop the script, and they decided to make it, and they were considering directors, and I came on board, and it felt like a natural fit in what I'm interested in as a filmmaker and a woman. And then so Alex was always going to play Lucy, and then we worked with a fantastic casting director named Marin Hope, who I've worked with before, and she brought us Jennifer Ehle and François, and so it was a very beautiful trio of actors, and I felt very lucky to work with these folks.
Anything you'd like to add, Cece?
No, I think Jaclyn did a beautiful job. Yeah.
Okay.
Like how do you like put together 3 years of but yeah, it was true.
So how does it feel now that you've reached this pinnacle of it after 3 years?
It feels great. We talk like almost every day about this movie and have for years and years. Like most of these like projects, independent projects of this size. I'm just really excited to get to share it with an audience in a cinema tonight, and to like give the film over to people who haven't lived it and breathed it for like months and months and months, and just get to react to it in the way that we all reacted to Alex's beautiful script when we first encountered the film.
And so François, when you came aboard, what was it that attracted you to this script and to this story and to this role?
Well, I think first of all it was the script itself more than the character, like just that how I was just genuinely moved by that story for all the reasons that Alex mentioned. There's, I think, a quality to the writing, and the dialogue is sparse but meaningful and important, and it's just it has the kind of pace that I appreciate as a audience for film, and that I see so little of, and then very appealing to be the third wheel. I don't know how much I can say.
The very important.
No, there's something that I really that I love about Tom. That is, I think, like he's an inherently good person, and even though he's sort of unaware of all the things that are at play, I think he's he's not perfect, but he's generous, and he shows up in so many ways, and I think to have that like one masculine presence in the movie, not be like a toxic douchebag, is good. And also, I think like I was saying earlier, I think women are just generally better people.
I would agree.
Thanks.
And Yeah, I just so enjoy working, sharing with, my professional life with quality women and people, and so that was the appeal.
So you kind of touched on this, but I'm asking you to expand. And Alex, I'm curious to know, now that you've created these two characters, what was the most rewarding part of it, and what did you find was the most challenging to really craft these two?
I think for me, it's so interesting because when you write a story, like you've been with this character from the beginning, and so everything feels so in you, like it felt like I didn't have to work at that. But I think I had to work at holding things back because I was so easily moved by the things that Lucy's going through because they've been with me for so long. I feel like I was often like, okay, it's all here, but like now I need to bring it back and express in the way that Lucy would express. That was the biggest challenge for me, but a wonderful challenge, and working with François and Jennifer was just such an amazing experience. They're both such generous co-stars, and I feel like we really were able to live the moments in this script in a way that was organic, and the intimacy that we created that part was easy, Yeah.
Anything to add, Tom, or?
I'm not Tom now.
François.
It's
Wow,
That's a good thing.
No,
That
it's
makes
great.
I might even keep that in here. That's funny to keep. We're gonna keep that in there. François, my apologies.
No, not at all.
You were really convincing.
Yes.
Well,
It was so nice not to see like a male toxic character.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I would add, I think, is that in spite of like what goes on in the movie, there are no villains, or like we're not pointing fingers at anybody, and I think there's like a real humanity in the way that the film looks at all of its characters, and yeah, it's a really nice thing to be part of.
And that was honestly in the writing process, and I know Jaclyn and I talked about this a bunch as well. Like, we really didn't want Tom to feel like, oh, get rid of that guy. Like, that guy's just kind of like, fuck that guy, we wanted it to feel like, no, this is a really good person. This is a solid relationship.
Yeah, relationships are complicated.
Yeah.
Relationships are complicated.
I think it's really interesting because it does look at these three characters in a subjective way, and we're not trying to judge them or put things on them that I think a lot of the time when you watch a movie, you go in and like the first scene, you're like, okay, this is what I think about this person.
Mm-hmm.
But this film really allows it to breathe, and sort of we live with the characters, and that was always there, but I think in the way that we shot it and, working with these amazing performers, it just sort of naturally came out, and yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about the cinematography of the film, because this is a beautiful film, a little bit about like artist and muse, but just the way it was shot, it was like picture perfect postcard image after picture perfect postcard image of these beautiful long tracking shots. Anyone can dive in what it was like working with your cinematographer Samantha Tetro and how that came to be.
Thank you. That's very kind. So this is Sam's first feature, and yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's
Impressive.
She's young, I believe. She's in her mid-20s, and she was very, very excited, and I feel like a lot of the time, some cinematographers go from movie to movie to movie, and if they're lucky, and so Sam really was very committed to me, to Alex's script, to the production, and we spent a lot of time outlining. You think of a shot list as sort of like a guidebook, and sort of, when you get on set, things change. Mm-hmm. But I think we had a very clear vision of how we wanted it to look and feel, and she really was super collaborative with me on that. And looking at one thing, I think we really thought about was how does an artist look at an image, and like what does it mean to be an audience member or walk into a gallery or be a model in a muse. And I think that sort of comes out in the cinematography, because like you said, you're looking at these sort of a lot of the time long shots that are kind of like a painting. But I also think it was a benefit too, because this is an indie and we didn't have a lot of time, and so it was a benefit to the actors that a lot of it was done in these sort of one-ers. But I think both things sort of informed the style, and sometimes Sam and I would be like, oh, we are actually going to shoot this way, and we had a fantastic AD who would be like, guys, like I think this who kind of kept us on track, and we would get excited by something that might not wasn't the through line of the film. And it's amazing to work with collaborators that can recognize you and sort of lift you up, like these people sitting here, but also our amazing crew who understood the visual language. So I think it was all of us sort of working together to create those.
I will say in our earliest creative meetings, Jaclyn was super committed to the wide, to painterly wides. How many days did we have on this movie? We had 2 weeks to make this movie. It was insane. So that was both led from a place of artistry, and I think is so creatively correct, but also was what made it possible to shoot this.
And we're not fighting to get that one insert, just in case we need to.
Did we use any of them? No. I think that there was finding the perfect partner in Sam, that the clarity of your vision around that was day one. It was okay, we're gonna be really wide, theatrical, we're gonna stay in it. You brought that from the first meeting. So.
It's visually, it's stunning. Okay, so as an educator, I love to ask this question anytime I get to have these interviews. Thinking about the roles that you did in this film, whether it was writer, producer, actor, whatever it was, what is your one golden rule that you would share that's a part of your process that you take from project to project? Kind of like that tip. And if you have any learning curves that maybe you found on this that you're like, you know what? Maybe not gonna do that next time. This is not a loaded question at all.
Yeah, what a good question.
I would say that for me, the main rule is that there are no rules, and that you kind of start over every time, and accept to be afraid, and that what you have learned, if you have learned it, is inside you, and you really need to remind yourself of it. You can just start anew every time. I mean, that's what I found works for me.
Mine would be keep your collaborators really close. I think there's such a pleasure in being able to meet new people and bring them in, they become crucial team members. And you should think about it as we have this project together, but there's a multiplicity of other projects we might work on together as artists, and we get to build this collaborative team. But yeah, thinking about it as not as a relationship that confirms one another's artistry is big. And I mean, Jaclyn and I have worked together a lot. Alex and I had never worked together, but now I consider Alex as a part of that collaborative family. And of course, François is a wonderful actor. It's just, that build, but taking care of the family.
Haven't burned those bridges.
No, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Keeping people close. And
I think for me, it's remembering that at its best, this art form of film it's a form of sharing. It's leave your ego at the door. Nobody's here to prove how good they are, that they deserve to be on this set or in this room. It's we're all here to tell the same story. And when we're lucky, we walk into a set and every single person there is there because they care about the story and they want it told well, and they have something to contribute to that. And that goes for the actors, that goes for the directors, that goes for the PAs, that goes for everybody, And I think on hard days or on days where there's stress or conflict or whatever, it's remembering that that's what it's all about. We're all here because we share in something.
I mean, everybody said such good things. I don't know. I mean, I went to a film school that, was very sort of prescriptive in the way that they went about teaching us how to direct. I don't really know how you can teach someone to direct. You just kind of have to do it, or just learning all of the aspects of filmmaking. And I think it's been really freeing, and sort of what I think about is it's really, important to do all the preparation you can and think about it and have the story live with you in a way for a while, and but you kind of have to throw that away. Like, I think all those rules and all that preparation, like the magic, and it's funny because like everybody, I feel like everyone wants to be on set. Like on set is like, that's part of what people I think when they think about a film. And so I think like throwing away all of the things throughout the process of what you think it's supposed to be and what it means to be a filmmaker, a writer, director, like it's like, it doesn't really, kind of like what Alex says, like it doesn't really matter. Like we're all sort of on the same path. And I think that's what makes a powerful film. And I think you can hopefully feel that in this movie.
So hopefully we're going to get through these last two before they come barging through the door. So Alex, in the script, you asked some really simple questions, and I'm saying simple with big quotation marks around it, like, what makes a good life? What does it mean to matter? Now that you've worked on this project that has answered that, and I'd love we can go down the line, and you can keep it simple, because I know that that's a very loaded question, but what would you say is something that makes, what does it mean for a good life to matter?
Oh man. I don't know how to answer that quickly or succinctly, but
The movie.
the movie, right. Watch the movie and tell me what you think when you come out of it. How about that?
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I don't have an answer, but this movie is the question. So,
Anyone else want to take it?
I think that that's a very specific individual thing, and it means something different to every person, and I think that that's what is relatable about this film as well.
I think making things, making movies, and it's an attempt to answer that question or to find meaning. I don't have kids, or I see it, but there's something about, maybe it's in vain, but like I think movies especially, like as opposed to play, like creating something that like will exist beyond, hopefully, and
that somebody else.
Like not many things do, but I think it's certainly like a stab at that.
Yeah, that somebody else can watch and be like, oh, here are your thoughts. I feel the same way sometimes. Like that's cool, I don't know.
This is sort of an oblique answer to your question, but something I'm really proud of in this film is that it's an open text. It's readable, and I can't, as I said before, wait to encounter like what other people's views are on where all three of these characters, where they exit in the film, and what might possibly be next for them, and how they might possibly feel about confirmation or change in their own lives. Because I think we're all sort of working through that in any given moment. Like there's no like an arrival point. And I think I'm really proud that the film embraces that. So.
And the last thing I'll say, and yes, and you actually all answered that kind of the way I was hoping, because we want people to go and see this movie.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film. But what is something that you hope people take away from the film when they watch it? We're going to end on that one.
I think people should ask these questions about themselves and have it, and see these two characters, because it doesn't answer them. It doesn't answer these questions really, and I think that's a really beautiful, unexpected thing about this film. And I hope that people can feel that the power of searching and not knowing and finding things in your life changing in a way but not changing. It's very human, and for me that would be just the power of what it is to be a woman in transit.
That's so beautifully said. I'm a little mad. Yeah, I think for me it's also that we're all on this search together, right? Like that's what it is to be a person, is to be like, what the fuck? Like what am I doing here? How do I make this worthwhile? I don't know. But every single person alive is asking themselves that and is trying to figure that out. And so one of the things you can attempt is to share in that with other people.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that as people encounter the way these characters make assumptions about each other, and the way that we as viewers make assumptions about these characters and how they might be feeling about one another and like what their interiority is, that like invites further introspective, thought about how you carry that into your own life. I don't know. That's maybe a big goal for a quiet movie, but yeah, I think it's so cool.
That was my turn. Well, honestly, I'm here to support this film and these voices, and I hope that people show up and are willing to be open to discovering these new voices to them. And so I stand by it. I was moved by it, and I think that I hope that other people will be.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to chat
Thank
with
you
me,
so
and
much
best
for
of luck
your
with the film.
Thank you. Thank you.